In today's video, we're going to be discussing crit defense, why it's so important, how to set up a proper crit defense, why you need to have all 6 troop types, including T11 infantry if you've got access to them, and what it takes to sort out the number of troops you need for a good defensive strategy in your castle. Let's go and have a look at crit defense. Hey guys, Pokey Mountain here on a very cold July morning, bringing you a new Learning Corner video, and today we're going to be discussing crit defense. We have discussed troops and troop formations and crit marches and that sort of thing before, but we never really discussed crit defense, and there's been a lot of people saying different things about crit defense or not necessarily understanding it properly, or doing something that is potentially really risky to your troops. And I thought it best if I actually just make a video and show you the best way to do crit defense, as well as how to set up your troops, your wall defenses, things like that. Right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to, let me show you here, your training grounds, and click on March. Now this is going to show you what troops you've got. Crit defense applies to 6 troops. It's the exact same as crit attack. And in fact, let me actually just quickly show you that. So if you go to research, War Fury, Undying Oath 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to be your crit percentages. And it says during the battle, when the number of troop types is no more than 6, critical hit chance for all troops will be increased. Critical hits deal 180% damage. Troops of different types or levels are counted individually. What that means is that your type, meaning infantry, cavalry, bowman, siege, those are all counted, as well as how many tiers you've got, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, etc., etc. So you can only have 6 of those for it to be a crit. Now, crit is not necessarily defensive, it is offensive, meaning that it increases the damage when you attack, but it also increases the damage when you are defending. And a lot of people forget that aspect to it. So you have a 36%, 40% crit, but you've got a rainbow of troops here that's going to counter your actual crit. Crit is very important, and I'm going to show you with actual examples why today. So back to what we were saying here, you need 6 types altogether: 2 infantry, 2 cavalry, and 2 bowmen. The reason why I currently have 4 bowmen here is because I was keeping my T9 and my T10 bowmen for the Golem March, which I don't need to worry about anymore because I have reached Lord level 65. That means I can't really go anywhere from there, so I'm going to get rid of those and have a permanent crit defense in my castle. So you want to have 6 troop types, yeah, 2 infantry, 2 cavalry, 2 bowmen, and that's the extent of what you actually want. Now, setting up your troops, it's quite simple. The way that you do this is you're going to start off by getting ready and set up by having my KOA document downloaded. If you haven't got it already, links are for it in the description. And what you're going to do is you're going to input your troop capacity according to how many marches you've got. So, for example, we're going to look at our first march. We're going to say occupy, and our first march has a capacity of 438,275 without any boosts. Okay, so we're going to go to our KOA document, and we're going to come to the starting page. And we're going to put in our march capacity. Again, 438,275. So we're going to go 438,275, and we're going to go PPP march, and we're going to look at what the formation is that we need for each march. In this case, we're going to have 131,483 of infantry. So it's going to be 131,483, and then it's going to be the same for bowmen, 131,483. Then we're going to take 43,828, 43,828, and then again here 43,828. Then we need 21,914. So we're going to come down to cavalry. We're going to say 21,914. And the balance of the march goes into our bowmen. 65739, 65741. It does, remember, it does round off. So you'll be out by 1 or 2 troops, that's fine. And we're going to say march. Right, so there we go. We now have our first PvP march set up, and we're going to do this over and over again for each march formation that we have. Now I can send off 5 marches, for example. So I'm going to click another square and I'm going to say occupy, and I'm going to look at what is my new march capacity, because remember, when your dragon isn't with your troops, your capacity drops. So it's now 391,000. So I would come back here, go there, and I would put in 391,000, and I'd come back to PvP marches, and I'd look, 117,300 is what I need for the top one. For infantry, 117,300, which means it's going to be 117,300 here. Then 39,100 for my top cavalry, and the same for my next infantry, 39,100. Then 19,550 for my cavalry, and balance goes into bowmen. March. So now I've got 2 setups, 2 formations ready to go. And I would actually do this and save that formation in training grounds as marches 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if I'm preparing to go into a PvP scenario like Kingdom Raid or KBK or something like that. So now I've got my first 2. I would click occupy again, and I would do it with my 3rd and 4th and 5th. When you get to the point where you don't have enough of a specific tier and troop type. So for example, let's say I only had 23,520 T12 infantry and I need 117,000. I will now look at what the difference is, and I will make note of the fact that that's how many infantry I now need to train to make sure I've got enough of the troop types. So you want to have enough of each of the 6 troop types for 5 full sets, or 4 depending on how many marches you've got, 4 or 5 full sets of PvP attacks. Okay, you're going to set that up. Once you've done that, you know you've got the right number of troops to start off with. From there, because of the new heroes and their ability to reduce your troop defensive amounts, your meat shield does need to be a little bit stronger than it was before. So I would say take whatever troops you've got from your 5 march formations, and then take an extra 10 to 15% of that as infantry extra, so that your meat shield is really strong and defensive against the new heroes. Now the new heroes, let's have a look at their abilities so that you can understand a little bit more why we got to be so protective. Cavalry led by Guinevere skirmish after each attack, dealing base attack of X amount, depending on what level you've got her at, damage to random enemy targets. So that's going to be randomized between your types, your troop types, as well as your tiers. So it might hit, for example, on the first attack, your T11 bowman. Next one will hit your T11 cavalry. Your next one will hit your T11 infantry, or whatever the case might be. And remember, this is going to happen again and again and again, because you don't just have one set of attacks. Technically, when you attack somebody, when you attack them, your troops and their troops have a big fight, and it goes in order of infantry, cavalry, bowmen, and it will go infantry attacks, bowman, cavalry attacks, bowman attacks, and if enough survive on both sides, they'll do a new round, and infantry, cavalry, bowman, and if enough survive again, infantry, cavalry, bowman, and so on until the war or that battle has been decided. So each time that the cavalry get to attack, this skirmish is going to get to activate, and it gets to do additional attacks against a random set of what you currently have. Now, that's pretty strong, considering the fact that those are extra free attacks. And if you combine that with the Mordred ability, which says when troops are led by Mordred, cavalry attack is increased by 150% each round up to 6,000. So the cavalry that are skirmishing and getting a lot more attacks, this is going to increase their attack each round as well. Then he's got another ability, lowers enemy troop defense by 1,000% when 2 glory heroes are deployed. Now troop defense, again, if you look at a battle report, the top 3 ones that you get is going to be your troop attack, defense, and health. It's going to take away 1,000% from whatever you have there, which means that the guys who are attacking you with these guys are going to reduce your defense, get more attacks, and boost those attacks. And if you've got them both together, then Guinevere's other ability, her glory, what they call it, this resonance will be there, which means that they have a 15 up to 25% chance to deal double damage when two glory heroes are deployed. So you need to be able to have enough of a meat shield to handle the drop in defense, as well as all the additional extra attacks that are going to be going through. Now, they're not necessarily going to all be hitting infantry, but some will hit infantry, so it's good to know that. But also, even the ones that don't hit infantry, it's not going to be as much damage as a normal attack would be, which is going into your infantry. So make sure you have enough infantry. Beyond that, how else do you protect yourself? Well, technically, the best two heroes to actually have on your wall right now is going to be Cadogan and Madoc, simply because of their abilities. The health of infantry led by Cadogan, remember, infantry is your meat shield. If they go down, everything goes down with them. The health of infantry led by Cadogan will increase by up to 1,000% if your dragon is accompanying your troops, meaning your dragon in this case is at home in your castle. Your infantry will increase their defense by a further 450%. And when you got him aside another gallantry and resonance is activated, infantry defense is increased by another 450%. Now you combine him with a Madoc on your wall, and Madoc says, infantry led by Madoc will have a 20% chance to counterattack when they are under attack, dealing up to 3,200% of their base damage to the enemy, while at the same time ignoring enemy defense. This counter-strike can be used up to 5 full times each round. And then with the Gallantry Resonance activated, counter-strike chance is increased by a further 5%. All right, so if this is what's going to happen. The new heroes are going to attack, and the cavalry are going to get to skirmish. Each time they skirmish and they happen to hit infantry, Madoc's ability, his 20% chance is going to trigger, and they might get a 1 in 5 chance to attack back, which is another free attack for you. So you're going to be increasing your meat shield in quantity. You're going to increase the defense. You're going to increase the health of your meat shield. You're going to increase the number of times they actually get to technically attack your opponent as well when they are on your wall. So these two are technically going to be your best two heroes to put on your wall in a defensive scenario. Let's say, for example, you're doing Kingdom Raid and you know that you're not going to be on at reset. You can put them on your wall so that if your bubble pops, for example, and somebody happens to attack you, you're going to have your best chance of surviving it compared to your other heroes. Right, now let's actually have a look at the practicality of the crit defense, what it actually means in practice. Now, I took one of my farms, I took my SH-34 there, and I actually killed off 600,000 troops doing this to show you guys the difference. But what I did is I said, okay, fine, we attacking, and I set up an original march of 50,000 infantry, 50,000 cavalry, 50,000 bowmen, and just had them come in and attack. And at this point, I did not have my crit defense. As you can see, crit hit chance is at 0%. And I ended up losing 1,230 troops. Then what I did is I sent away my 2 bowman formations that broke my crit defense, enabling myself to have that full crit defense and 40%, as you can see over there. And it went from 1,200 to 248, 1/6 of the number of losses by having my crit defense activated. So remember, your crit defense is critically important. But beyond that, I thought, okay, once you get into a higher march, it's going to make a different amount of difference because you have more rounds of attack and things like that. So what I did is I then sent off a full march against my stronghold. Originally, first march, again, did not have the crit defense activated, and I sent 274,000 troops attacking, 100,000 cavalry, 100,000 bowmen, and 74,000 infantry, and I ended up having 6,420 losses when I didn't have my crit defense set. And once I had my crit defense set, as you can see here, 40%, my losses went down to 3,500, almost half the amount of losses by having crit defense activated. It is very important to have crit defense activated if you are going to go into combat. It's going to be saving you a lot in terms of wounded and dead heroes. If you combine this, for example, in Kingdom Raid, you get attacked mercilessly. You combine this with your life preserver ability, things like that, you're going to end up having a lot more troops that survive the battle than those that don't. And as you can see, it's almost 50% difference here, and here it's 1/6 of the difference. So it makes a very, very big difference at the end of the day. Now, I did say earlier that you need to have all 6 types, and I'm going to explain to you why now. This includes T11 infantry. A lot of people do not like T11 infantry. They feel like it's a waste of time, but it is no longer a waste of time, and I'm going to prove to you why. Let's have a look at this beautiful Excel document, Excel, that I created just to show you the difference. So this top section over here is your 6 troop formation, and this document section at the bottom over here is your 5 troop formation, because typically when you add T12, most players have got T12 infantry. They leave T11 infantry. They have T12 cab and bowman, T11 cab and bowman. Now, if you look at it this side, okay, each of your types, there's all 6 there, your PvP percentages of actually having them, and it tells you here your chance of getting hit by the new cavalry heroes, talking specifically about Guinevere's ability, where the cavalry get to skirmish a random type. When you've got 6 different types, each one of them has a 17% chance of being hit. That means that there's less chance of your bowmen being hit, which is your big hitters, than anybody else. You really want your infantry to be hit first. By doing it this way, you're actually increasing the chance of infantry being hit by 34% compared to a 20% difference. When it comes to the dragon's ability, remember, it gets to randomize the additional damage that it deals. In the case of a dragon, you have got any one of these 6 segments has a 50% chance of getting hit, from 33% chance up to 50% chance, depending on how far you've leveled up your dragon. And that just means, once again, that your dragon or your cavalry heroes can hit your bowmen at 17% and 50% chance. Now, if they've activated Breath of Fire and they have Guinevere in the march, there is a 33% chance that your bowmen are going to get hit by both. At least one of your tiers of bowmen getting hit by both Guinevere's abilities, skirmishes, on each skirmish, and the dragon. When you've got only 5 troop types, all of those numbers become higher, quite a bit higher. Your chance of getting hit by the cavalry here is each type, which means your bowman has a 20% chance of getting hit. Your chance of getting hit by the dragon, each one of them, is up to 60%. And your chances of getting hit by both the dragon and the cavalry heroes is up to 40%. Here, 1 in 3 attacks is going to hit your bowman. Here, 1 in basically 2 attacks is going to hit your bowman. And that means when your bowmen get hit, we know how soft and squishy they are. They will die very, very quickly. You want to increase the number of chances your bowmen have to survive longer to do more damage. So you need to have that 6th slot of T11 infantry activated, so that at the worst case scenario, if they do attack you and they hit you, there is a chance that damage is going to go into your T11. Now, that doesn't mean go and make 1,000 T11 and say, okay, fine, I'll put 1,000 T11 there and the rest are all T12. Because remember, each skirmish that happens is these cavalry are going to hit. And if the cavalry hit twice in a row your T11 infantry, that 1,000 infantry is gone. And now they're going to be hitting your bowmen, and you will lose that match. Remember that. The more troop types you have, the less chance there is of your bowmen dying before they actually get to do any major damage themselves. Right, that's it in a nutshell, guys. I hope this actually makes sense. It does to me, obviously, because I was the one thinking about it and I put it all together. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand why it's so important to have crit defense, what a big difference it makes, and why it's so important to have all 6 types filled up so that you can make your bowmen live longer and last longer than before. And again, let's just have a look one more time at the reports. All together with the testing, we lost 274, 274, 274, 150, 150. So it's actually way past 600,000. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1.1 million troops lost in the making of this video. 1 like equals to 1 troop resurrected. Drop a like on the video down below. Right, guys, drop your comments. Let me know if this made sense to you, if you understand it, and you can understand why it's so important to have crit defense and why you need 6 troop types. If you feel otherwise, or you got something that you want to add to this conversation, please drop your comments also down below. I love to have your feedback, and I love to engage with you guys about different opinions and things like that. Otherwise, if you like this video and you want to see more videos about KOA and events and updates and Learning Corner videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you can know whenever I go live. Big shout out to my top Patreon supporters for the month, Red, Black, and We Free Men. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, guys. It really does help me out tremendously. And if anybody else would like to try and support the channel, links to Patreon and the Discord server are down below. Right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I will catch you on the next one. Until then, be good, be well, and be safe. Bye.